Okay, so I've been obsessed with Rod Wave's new album, Nostalgia. Listen here, I had so in 2 days, you got Rod Wave that dropped the album. I think he dropped his album that Friday, if I'm not mistaken. And then you got Nas and Diddy that want to drop their album that Saturday. I don't know if I got the days mixed up. I just know that one person drops a album one day, and then the other two people drop theirs the next day. And understand this, I love all y'all equally, but I have not got a chance to listen to Nas' album completely, and I haven't even thought to turn on Diddy's album because Rod Wave's album was just that good. Like, talk about affirmations that you didn't know you needed. Man, I feel like almost, because I'm gonna say almost every song, because some of the songs I couldn't relate to as much as I do with every other album. But like, a lot of those songs was giving me affirmations that I can just stay in my head and come at random times throughout the day, like pass you by, the actual song Nostalgia, Long Journey, Crazy. I love Crazy. I love Crazy. Call Come See Me, Call Your Friends, Love for a Thug, Love Story, 2018. Like, I damn near could name the whole track list, and it's crazy. It's only been out for like 2 weeks. But understand, like that, just in these past few weeks, I feel like that album changed my life in so many ways. Like, I I've seen how my pain transcended into something different since I've been listening to it. Like, don't get me wrong, as I'm listening to it and really getting in depth of it this past weekend, something happened and it really tried to knock me out of my game. But I was listening to the album, and it's crazy how it was like, okay, so I don't think I listened to, when I was listening to it, I felt like I listened to a majority of the album, but not all of the songs, because I was skipping back and forth through the songs that I really, really want to listen to. Because, like, when I tell you I've been obsessed with that song Crazy, I mean it. So, like, I could listen to that on repeat for like a whole day. But it's like I'll keep going back to that song. But it's like I listen to majority of the songs on the album in just one walk. And a lot of it resonated with what I was going through. And it's like, even though I was feeling some feelings that I didn't know how to feel about, listening to the album, it really opened my mind to, like, it's okay to feel what you feel. Stop trying to fight the feeling. Stop trying to fight the feeling that you feel, and realize that it's okay to feel that. Just sit in it for a while. And then once you ready to release it, release it. Don't try to hold on to something that you know you don't want. The prime example for, like, what this album taught me, because I look at albums as lessons. I don't care what nobody say. If you listen to music and you don't pull out spiritual lessons from it, then you need to change the music that you listening to. And that's like the realest way I could ever say that. But back to what I was saying. The lesson I learned with listening to the album Nostalgia is basically like, use this scenario for example. You You go to the toilet and you shit. You shit in the toilet. The shit goes in the toilet. Do you A, wipe your ass, get up from the toilet, flush the toilet, go wash your hands and leave out the bathroom? Or do you B, go in the toilet, put the shit back up your ass, and go do whatever you're going to do after that because you just chose that nasty ass number B, letter B? Obviously, the correct answer is A. And you would let go of it completely. You would rid yourself of the residue of it and continue on with your life. And it's like, that's what if that's how you treat the shit that leaves your body physically, the things that leave your body emotionally and mentally and spiritually, you need to do the same thing. Like, we one and the same with each parts of our being. And the moment we start seeing, like, enabling that God complex of our ego, we start losing sight of the parts of us that God gave for us to be us, to live through us, to fulfill a purpose that was embedded in us. Like, man, like it's literally a long journey. And it's like, if you don't, it's crazy. Because I swear I'm finna use these. I feel a poem coming on. Because there's no way I'm saying this man's track list in like a video that I'm saying, like, because life could just pass you by if you keep living in the past. That's why you gotta let that shit go. Call your friends. Man. Because it's okay to feel nostalgic, for sure. It's not okay to sit in your own shit, to put the shit back in your ass and then go try to live in nostalgia. Like, come on now. At some point, you gotta let go. And if it's like, if you say you forgive someone, if you forgive something, actually, I want to say this first, because I feel like forgiveness is like something that's misconstrued in our community. Like, forgiveness is, my grandma always told me, like, you don't forgive for other people, you forgive for yourself. But a relevant part that isn't always mentioned is that you have to forgive yourself. So it's like, okay, so perfect example, since this is on the front of my mind and I haven't thought about this in a while, so I guess this is something I gotta forgive myself for. So talk about shadow work. So when I was in grammar school, we was playing, this girl, she was playing on my back. Like, she just hopped on my back and we was just playing this shit and she fell. I wasn't holding her tightly and she wasn't holding on to me tightly, and she fell. And for so long I was holding that guilt, because it's like, I got so upset, because, like, man, I got little cousins, they jump on my back all the time. Like, we play like that all the time. So it was different when someone that's not my family, she jumped on my back and she hurt herself. Like, when I tell you that girl broke her leg, like, for a good little minute, she was in a wheelchair in grammar school. And it's like, man, you a student, kid, a dancer, and you stuck in a wheelchair, and then I'm the reason for that. I felt, even though I technically wasn't the reason, it was a joint effort, sort of say, it still hurted to my core. But then I realized, like, I had to forgive myself for that, because, like, for one, we was young. For two, we was doing something we wasn't supposed to. And for three, keeping it real, that's how God wanted it to be. Like, I ain't want to question God's plan. So it's like learning forgiveness is learning when you're wrong, awareness of where you play a part in that, and then forgiving yourself for making the choices. Because it's like, if you didn't know how to tie your shoe, can't nobody shame you for not tying your shoe. You don't know how. So if you don't know something, no one can shame you for not knowing it. The only thing that you can be shamed for is if someone is trying to teach you it and you refuse to learn. So now you're just blatantly ignorant. You're choosing to be ignorant. Now it's more so a choice. Now that's where the blame come in. That's where the shame come in. That's where people will start looking at you weird, because now you this overgrown adult and you still don't know how to tie your shoe. So it's like learning when you play a role in your own suffering, and knowing when it's just a part of life. It's just a lesson for you to learn so that you can grow into something better. Even though they both sort of say that, but it's like a lot of times things show up differently. It won't always be you tying your shoe. It could be love. It could be you never experienced true, genuine love before, and you don't know how to show love to other people. So you just send hate their way. You thinking that's love, but you really send the hate their way. It's not until someone teaches you different, or you learn when you learn, it's like that's not right. But then once you know better, is when you gotta do better. And that's what it be. Like, I heard them say this on I think I was watching the show MacGyver. And he was like, he was this black dude, he was so hurt because he found out his best friend that he grew up with, his roommate, was a CIA agent. And he found out because he got kidnapped, beaten, all of these things happened to him. And he told him, he said, ignorance is safer, but it's not bliss. I would have respected you if you would have told me and gave me a heads up so I could be more alert and more aware than for for my life to just blow up in front of my face and I don't even know why it's happening. And it's like, whoa. When he said that quote, it's like it burned on my brain, because it's like so often that we find ourselves in our community lying to ourselves and lying to each other. Like, if you still lie to kids and tell them that it's Santa Claus, knowing you worked your ass off to go buy those kids, all those things, you doing yourself a disservice and you doing those kids a disservice. You keeping them ignorant. And you just like like people say this is just a little white lie. No, it's way deeper than that. Like, all of this is relative. Like, all of this relates to each other. We may not even want to see it that way, but the truth is the truth, even if no one likes it. And it's like, you think that just because you withhold the truth, that you are keeping someone safe or protected, but in reality, you're basically having them blindfolded walking a plank, sort of say. Like, they just getting fattened up for to get slaughtered. Like, and I use that second example, for a reason, because of, like, anybody know me know I am anti-Bible right now. As far as I know right now, I am anti-Bible. It's truth in it, it's lies in it, it's blessings and it's curses. You choose to believe what you choose to believe, but what I believe is what I believe, period, point blank. And it's like, it was a quote that when I was going through my awakening, it's a quote I came across. But they said that it's crazy how the sheep, they are terrified of the wolf. Like, terrified. Like, they frightened of the wolf. They will avoid the wolf at any cost. They do not want to go by that wolf, think about that wolf, anything about that wolf. They just cannot be a part of. Once they see a wolf, they gone. They gotta hide. But it's like, okay, so like they're terrified of this wolf they see, of this visible devil. That's what we're gonna call it. They so terrified of this visible devil. But when you really look at their situation, like when you come to those realizations and you start having grown adult realizations. I call them real ass realizations. But you really take a step back and you look. So who tends to the sheep? The shepherd, right? The shepherd feeds them. The shepherd is getting them nice and plump, nice and fat, right? But not for the wolf. The thing is, even though the wolf was the visible villain, the wolf was never the villain, because the shepherd was. The shepherd realized that keeping the wolf around would keep them tamed, while they become fatter, so that whenever the shepherd could figure out what he wanted to do with them, he could, and he'll have more to do with them. That makes sense. Man. Wow. All I get is wild thoughts. So crazy. I hope that made sense, because it made sense to me. But if it made sense to you, drop a comment and tell me that you understood what I said. But I'm going to leave this conversation at that, because I just got done breaking down. Now I'm finna just sit in silence. May throw on the Raw Wave album, not gonna lie. Do a little sing as I roll me my jointy joint. You never know. But for sure, you enjoy your day. You enjoy your night. Have a prosperous life. And I just want to say peace and love.